We're back for another fun-filled day of watching us talk.
Oh, because y'all ain't got nothing else better to do.
All right, we got Susie on right up front.
Hey, Susie.
Susie's always the first one here, waiting. She's sitting here like watching her watch, going, "It's 5 o'clock. It's 5 o'clock." But I actually hit it as it was 5 o'clock, so we're good. And Megan Moves is on.
Hey, Megan.
Thank you for joining us, Megan. Hopefully today is going to be non-bloated and very informational. All right, but
Brandon
first,
is on this, so
yeah, I do talk a lot.
he's very bloated.
Hey now, only sometimes. So I guess since we're here, we need to go ahead and do
Mug of the day.
All right, mug of the day. Tia.
You go.
Oh, I'm gonna go first. I am very excited about showing off my mug here. I actually got this. Tia got this for me for maybe a birthday or an anniversary. I'm gonna say anniversary, but I can't.
We've been together for a long time. It runs together.
20-something years. Anyway, Susie, Megan, maybe one day you'll get there and be as happy as us. All right. So anyway, I like vintage Disney stuff. I can get it. If I can get vintage, I want it. So Tia got me this mug right here a few years ago. Now I want you to notice something. Pay attention to what is on this mug. Yeah, that's right. It's only Magic Kingdom and Epcot. And then on the other side is, I'm trying not to spill my coffee with my
It's on the smaller side of mugs.
Yeah, this is like a 6 to 8 ounce coffee mug, but this is vintage from like early 80s. So before Hollywood Studios, before Animal Kingdom, before all of that. And it used to be like on this side, you'd be able to like customize it with your name or whatever you'd want to say here, but this is the non-customized one because that's what I was looking for, because there's probably not many Brandons from the 80s. That wasn't a popular name back then. So that's my mug. I'm so excited. That's usually on the we don't use it so much shelf because it's on the smaller side.
Well, I guess back in the day that was the standard size.
Yeah.
Coffee mug.
And since we're talking about Disney World today, this is Disney World from 40 years ago. I can't believe it's been that long. I've been going to Disney since like, a couple years after it opened. So, all right, what do you got? Mug of the day.
Well, I was trying to make sure everybody could hear us first. So can y'all make sure? Can we make sure y'all can hear us and see us and all that good stuff? Susie, are you driving somewhere?
Well, can you hear us on there?
Well,
if you can hear us,
well,
then
yeah. I was just wanting a confirmation from somebody else. Golly.
All right. We're still working on mug of the day here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear us. We're good.
Okay, fine. Okay, so over the years, the mug size has gotten a little bloated.
No.
Now this to me is more of a standard size.
Now, I don't know if you could pull it down so you can see the inside of it. Can you see the inside of hers, inside of mine? Yeah, mine's full. Hers has the same amount of coffee.
Mine goes to about right there. Right in Goofy's face.
So these are the like friend size Starbucks or friend size coffee mugs.
So mine is the from the new Play in the Park series design and stuff, and yeah, everybody's just playing around in the parks, Walt Disney World.
All right, now it is. Oh, whoops! I'm on the wrong screen.
T-shirt time.
I was clicking the thing on the banner there.
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
We got it. We're here. We got it. We figured it out. All right. T-shirt time. You want me to go first? You want to go first?
I'll go first because I just did my mug and my mug matches my shirt.
Play in the parks.
And I really like this one. It's a thinner material, but the selling factor was actually the back. It's
Oh yeah, it's Mickey and Minnie in a
it's
teacup.
Mickey and Minnie on the teacups, and Mickey is making the same face I make when I ride the teacups.
It looks like a Spirit jersey. It's even got the thing that Disney World that goes across the back, but it's not actually a Spirit jersey, right?
It's not. It's more of a just kind of a long sleeve T-shirt.
But if you looked at it and didn't know what a Spirit jersey was, you'd be
It
like,
does have
"Hey,
these
that's a Spirit jersey."
little splits on the side there.
But from the back, it looks just like a Spirit jersey. From the front, it looks like a Spirit jersey. It's not actually a Spirit jersey, which made it slightly less expensive. And the shirt that I'm wearing, I actually got this during the 50th anniversary. Oh, look,
Yes.
50th anniversary right there. I don't remember where I got this. I think I got it in
Box lunch.
Oh, was it
It
box
looks like
lunch?
a box lunch.
Okay,
Yep.
box lunch. 50th anniversary. Mickey carrying his banner. Actually, it looks like the same guy that's on the front of your mug there, carrying a banner. Except his colors are reversed. Anyway.
Anywho's.
All righty. All right. So what are we talking about today, Tia?
Disney. Planning for Disney, what to know before you go, what to research before you go, all that good stuff. It can be an overwhelming process to plan a Disney trip, especially if you're planning for a big family,
Or if you
families
haven't
with
been in a
small
while.
children. Yeah. Yeah.
So I had an extended cousin contacted me last night and said, "Hey, we got a family going down to Disney. From what I could gather from the way it was written, it seems like it's been a while since they went down, and they're going to be staying at the Contemporary, and they're borrowing somebody's DVC points so they could stay over there, and they wanted to know where they could get discount tickets, and of course that snowballed into a 3-chapter book." And I was like,
asked Bloated Brandon.
he asked me where to get discount tickets, and I was just like, "Oh, but wait, clearly you haven't been there in a while." So I'm going to let you know everything I can know in one long text message. It wasn't, it was multiple text messages. I broke it up. So we're going to go over some of the stuff that I told him, but in more organized fashion. We're going to start with things that you probably need to know right up front. If you don't have these things, you're just not going to make it in today's Disney World, because you have to have a phone, you have to have technology, you have to do this, that, and the other, and you just can't do without certain things. And then other stuff is stuff that you really need to know, because a lot of people don't, because things have changed so much in the past, even 10 years. Between Fast Passes going away and their other system coming up, and the way that Fast Passes worked, and all that stuff. So let's start with number one. If you do not have this, you will not survive.
That is the My Disney Experience app. You can pretty much do everything on this app. You can buy your tickets on it, you can book hotels on it, I believe. That's where you're going to do all your mobile ordering for food, merchandise, wait times, maps, everything is on that app. You can even unlock your Walt Disney World resort room with your My Disney Experience app.
Yes. So if you don't have it, you're not going to make it. If you want to use the new Genie Plus system, which is the Fast Pass thing, you have to have the app. Or I guess you could go wait in line over at customer service and they can do it for you, because they have an iPad to do that. But you don't want to do that. That's a long time.
So for any of you folks out there without a smartphone,
have somebody in your party to get one.
Yeah.
And you need to take time to learn how to use the app. You don't just open it up and go, okay, here we go.
It's really not that hard to use, though.
No, it's not that hard to use, but if you've never used it before, you've got to figure out where everything is. Virtual queues. If you don't know where the virtual queues are, so that you can get on at 6:59 in the morning to get on that virtual queue and know how to use the virtual queue and what the little gestures are that you have to do, you're not going to get your virtual queue rides.
Yeah. I mean, we could have a whole episode about my
Just
Disney
yeah.
experience. So maybe we'll do that one day.
Okay.
Just my Disney experience.
Just that. But just as an overview, have my Disney experience. That is numero uno. You don't have it, you're not going to make it around Disney World. Number two. Magic bands.
They are not 100% necessary. However, they do make life a little easier because that's your room key, that's your ticket. If you're staying on property, your room key, you can link it to a credit card and just tap that band and pay for stuff. Now that can get dangerous.
Yeah. But
it's convenient.
It is very convenient, and it's a fun souvenir. There are a couple of different ways that you can get your magic bands. You can get, if you get a resort room, correct me if I'm wrong. For example, my cousin said that he got a resort room linked to his account or whatever through his My Disney Experience. It's in his account. Can he now go and get discounted magic bands before his trip? Or is,
I think they're still
that's how
doing that. We actually haven't
done it in a while.
done it in a while. We've actually lately been staying off property. But yes, I think so. Megan, you stayed at Disney very, very recently. Did you have the opportunity to purchase a discounted magic band through your reservation? I think that's still a thing.
Well, it's not so much that it is or it isn't a thing. It was more of the way that he is getting his resort. As long as it's linked to your account, that option was there, right?
I don't know. I wasn't prepared for this.
Oh, okay. Well, it don't matter at this point. All right, so there's two different types of magic bands. There's the standard old-fashioned magic band, which they do sell, and these are the less expensive ones for the old fogey Joe Schmo people like us, where the new Magic Band Pluses, you can kind of see the difference here. This one kind of lights up and does fun things, and it interacts with like the parades and the fireworks, and there's games you can play with it and whatnot. But it also has to be charged up, if not every night. It depends on how much you use it. But it's still, even if it runs out, you can still use it as a normal magic band to get into the parks and stuff. But they are going to be more expensive for the Magic Band Pluses by like double.
Yeah.
I've gotten to the point where, I mean,
we have so many magic bands.
Oh God, we've got at least 100 of them.
We actually decorated our Christmas tree and used the magic bands as the garland on the Christmas tree this year. Yeah. We have that many.
Yeah, so wrapped around like 2 or 3 layers deep. So, but they're useful. They're a fun souvenir. They're makes it easier to get into the park. You don't have to carry around a card that may get lost because you're wearing it. Plus, it'll be your key. Plus, it'll be your credit card. So you got all that stuff.
And if you want to do all the extra, you can decorate it even more with little baubles.
And Tia got me these baubles, and Tia's got her baubles.
We have our old school pass holder slider.
Yeah. I guess I whooped these out of order, but next thing is make sure you got comfy walking shoes. You don't got comfy walking shoes, you are going to have a horrible time because you are going to be walking a lot.
A lot. Please don't buy brand new shoes and try them out for the first time on your Walt Disney World vacation.
Yeah.
My personal favorites are the Hoka recovery shoes. They're nice and comfy and smushy. I love them. They slip right on.
And my new walking shoes are my Hokas too, because I finally found a shoe that makes my feet not hurt. So good walking shoes, break them in before you go. And on top of that, you need to plan for rain. And I bring that up right after the shoes because make sure you bring water shoes, like comfortable water shoes that you can walk in, but ones that if they get wet, they'll just dry right out and you'll be able to not get your feet and your shoes and socks soaked. So that's just, we always have them in our backpacks when we know it's definitely going to rain, and umbrellas too, just in case.
It's Florida. It's probably going to rain.
Yeah, you can usually set your watch by the rain. The next thing somebody in your party needs a spacious backpack. I usually have the giant backpack, which has got everything in it, and Tia has her little lounge fly that's got her necessities in it, straws, koozies.
The straws are a necessity.
They are, because all you get is the little paper straws that decompose as you're drinking out of them. So you gotta, not in Animal Kingdom, but everywhere else, bring your plastic straws with you because they are not in the parks.
Well, actually, I just have the reusable straws in my bag.
Oh, that's right. I have the plastic straws in my bag, but she does have the like the silicone or the plastic ones. The next thing you need to bring, make sure you've got some way to charge your phone because like I said earlier, like we said earlier, you're going to be using your phone a lot. You're going to be using the My Disney Experience app. There's a Disney Play app for the kids. Those things suck up your battery if you leave them on and open all the time. So you've got to have some way to charge your phone. Some of the older battery chargers, like the little block chargers, some of them are not as fast as you would like. They do have charging things. What are they called? The little charging thing where you can exchange.
Fuel rods?
Yeah, the fuel rods. You can get those, but they're not going to charge your phone up a lot. They might keep it from draining too much, but they don't charge them very fast. You need to get one that's got high amperage so that it charges your phone fast, and it's got to have high capacity to charge your phone the whole way. But anyway, you have to get that, or you can do what we do, and we actually bring our like super fast charging blocks, like the little ones you plug into the wall that we plug in at night. Those ones will charge our phones up in about 30 minutes, like the whole way. So we don't have to sit there forever.
Yeah, because around the parks there are charging stations now that you can go sit down for 5 or 10 minutes and just charge phone.
Yeah, and anytime you see a plug, if it is there and it is accessible to you in a guest area, you can use it. It doesn't matter if there's a machine plugged into the other port. If you see the open port, plug your stuff into it. That is straight from customer service and all the cast members. Let's see where we at here. Oh, okay. So we're going to get to, you need to know this before you go. Susie actually asked us to talk about this, and this is a very good idea. Ride restrictions. Can I fit on the ride was, I guess the non-politically correct way of saying it, but can I fit on the ride? That number one.
Well, and some of these ride vehicles are not your typical custom roller coaster ride where you just go sit down on it. Tron in Magic Kingdom and Flight of Passage in Animal Kingdom, you're basically straddling your vehicle. Tron is a motorcycle, and Flight of Passage, you're supposed to be riding on the back of a banshee.
So you're riding it like a motorcycle.
Yeah. Now for Tron, both of these, there is a ride vehicle out front that you can test and see if it's going to be comfortable for you, if you fit on it. If you don't, or if you just don't like the way it feels. I know Tron does have a standard ride vehicle where you just sit.
Yeah, it's
normally.
like getting on the Runaway Mine Train or whatever it is.
Does Flight of Passage have that option?
I thought, Megan, you might be able to tell us whether we are just having a Mandela effect here. I swear Flight of Passage had a way where you could just sit off to the side and watch it for people that got like motion sick or whatnot. Let me know if I'm wrong on that.
I don't know if they do or not, but I know Tron does.
Coughs, Tron. So anyway, yeah. Where were we at? Oh. So if you need to know whether you can fit on, there's those two rides. One's at Animal Kingdom, one's at Magic Kingdom. There's a ride out front where you can sit in it, see if you fit. Now, there are ride restrictions on actual, like, you have to be a certain height or a certain age to ride a specific ride. There's some rides where you have to be less than a certain height or less than a certain age for, the more kiddie rides that are in the kiddie sections.
Yeah. And as far as fitting in ride vehicles, I think those are really the only two. I know like at other, like Universal, they have like a set of the ride vehicles. Like if you have a a shoulder harness, because that shoulder harness has to come down and it has to click to a
Mhm.
certain point, and if it don't click, you can't ride because of safety reasons.
Yes.
Disney does have a couple of rides like that, but I don't think they have.
Aerosmith and
Yeah, but I don't think they have a seat that you can test.
no, those are
Let
the
us know if
only
we're
2
wrong on that, but
those are the only all of my research said these are the only 2 rides that
okay.
actually have the test seats out front of the ride.
Yeah.
The rest of them, I mean, if it's one where you have to get there's the lap bar, those can get a little uncomfortable, like on the Big Thunder Mountain. But most of them just have, you spread your legs out, you get in and the
Yeah.
whatnot.
But at Disney, there's a lot of, just boat rides and stuff where
Yeah, it's a small
there's no
world.
seatbelt or harness or anything.
Yeah,
So
yeah. The good family rides.
yeah,
So, but well, I'll put some links in the show notes whenever we get done
yeah. And I think
with.
we're gonna talk height restrictions later in the
Oh, okay,
kids section.
okay. The next thing is guest relations. Know that there are guest relations. There's one guest relation, at least one, at every single park. I actually think that there is one outside and one directly inside of each park. So, like at Epcot, if you're looking at the entrance, all the way to the right is guest services. If you go to Hollywood Studios, all the way to the left is guest services. At Magic Kingdom, all the way to the right. Animal Kingdom, all the way to the left, like outside of the gates. Then when you walk in, it's like right on the other side of that. So you'll be able to. There's 2 guest service buildings right there. Actually, it's 1 building, 2 windows. So one inside, one outside of the park. But then when you're in the park, there are actually kiosks all over the park. For example, like in Magic Kingdom, when you go up right where Casey's is, the hot dog place that we always rave about, we have to have the corn dog nuggies and the footlong hot dog. There is a kiosk where there's usually like 1 or 2 people standing, and they can do everything that the people that are in the main building can do, except for maybe like the more in-depth stuff where they're gonna comp you a ride or whatever it is, or they can get you new tickets or whatever. But anything else you need to do in that park, they can make reservations. They can help you with anything that's on your My Disney Experience app. They are all over the park, at all the parks. There's at least 2 or 3 in each park.
Yeah, and those cast members, I think, are usually wearing like a button-down collared blue.
Yeah, and then they're under an
shirt.
umbrella standing next to a podium, essentially. So, and don't be confused with the DVC people because usually they have a building. You don't want to go there. Stay to the left. Go to the customer service counter. Also, not to be confused with the Visa Chase kiosks that they have all over the parks.
Yeah.
There's usually one in each park, and sometimes you go up to them, they're like, "Oh, I'm just the Visa Chase guy. I'm not the one you
Just
need."
make sure it says guest relations or guest services.
So there's that. Okay, the next thing is I'm just throwing this in here right at the beginning, so because it didn't fit anywhere else. When you get to the park, I recommend if you got a lot of stuff and you got a lot of kids and you got a lot of junk that you don't want to carry around, or maybe you need to change your clothes, get a locker. They're not expensive. They're easy to use. You can go in and out of them all day long.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Because you can bring your own food and stuff into the parks.
And we'll get to that later as
You
well.
can bring in a little baby cooler, put your lunch in a locker, and when you're ready to eat it, go back up.
And if you want to change
it all
clothes,
open.
heck, if it's raining and you got to change your socks or your shoes or whatever, you got another pair of clothes in there. Everything's in the locker, good to go. If you get a lot of merchandise, and at Magic Kingdom, you can't just go back out to the car. It's a 45-minute trip to go back to your car because you got to ride the monorail or the boat or the whatever to get back to your parking, versus some of the other parks where you could just walk outside. So get a locker, throw your merchandise in there, go back in the park, enjoy yourself without having to carry luggage around. All right, and the last thing is know that there is Disney transportation available on Disney property. So if you are flying in, Disney transportation from your resort hotel to the parks and to Disney Springs is available. There are a few different transportation options.
Yeah, so pretty much all of the resorts have bus transportation, or if you're staying on a Skyliner or monorail resort, it's probably better to use those 2 instead of a bus. There's also minivans, which are basically like Uber and Lyft. but provided by Disney. And there's also just normal Lyft and Uber ride shares.
All right, and then the last thing I'm going to throw in here is you must create a budget. I say you must create a budget. No one creates the budget, and if they do, they don't stick to it. That's fine. But the one thing you can do to help you stick to that budget, let's say you got a bunch of little kids, and you say, I'm giving you $100. Well, I do not want to give that kid $100. But what I will do is I will hand that kid a gift card. Here's your food. Here's your merchandise. When you run out of money on that card, that's all you got, kid.
Is that what your mama would have done?
If it was an option today, I bet it is what she would have done.
That's probably what she would have done. She would have had all your names on a gift card and said, here you go. And if you use it all on day one, I'm so sorry, but you're going to be very hungry for the rest of this vacation.
And Disney gift cards are reloadable, and you can go to DisneyGiftCard.com and you can combine all the gift cards. So let's say you accidentally lose that gift card. Make sure that you take a picture of the back of it. If you lose it, real quickly go to DisneyGiftCard.com and just take everything on that card and flop it over to another card. That way you won't lose it. You'll lose the card. You won't lose the money. So there's a nice little hack for you. So budget, it actually really helps at the Epcot festivals, where you say, hey, I know, because we always plan the Epcot festivals, we kind of know what we're going to get. We kind of plan out how much it's going to cost, and you get a gift card and you put this much on it. And when you make your way around the world after you've bought all your food, it should basically be empty.
Well, and at a lot of different locations, Target, Sam's, Costco, all these places, you can get Disney gift cards at a discount. So you're kind of getting like $50 and you're only paying $45 for it, or whatever the discount is, depending on where you're purchasing it from.
Yeah. All right. Now we're going to get into, okay, that's the stuff you have to know. The rest of this stuff is stuff that you really, really, really need to know. We're going to start with Disney dining. All right. Disney dining. Let's
Disney dining, you can dump all your whole body in, or you can just like put your little tippy toe in. It's totally up to you. You do not have to eat all the food at Disney World.
You don't have to eat any of the food at Disney World.
Because they can you can bring in your own ham sandwich if you want to.
And we'll get to that.
Totally fine.
All right. First thing, there is a Disney dining plan.
There is.
Disney dining plan helps people. Okay, it's not necessarily cheaper. I'm gonna throw it out there. I've done the math. I have done the spreadsheet. We've gotten the Disney dining plan, and I've worked it out. I did the two columns in the rows and everything. You're not necessarily saving money. It's very convenient though.
Yes.
You don't have to worry about the food. Once you've paid for it, you can get, the nice thing is that, you can go to every quick service restaurant and get the most expensive thing on the menu, and it doesn't make a difference in the way that they look at the credit for like a quick service meal. It's all the same. You can get the $3 hot dog, or you can get the $20 hot dog. It's still one quick service credit. So make sure that you're getting your money's worth, but still, it's more of a convenience than it is a savings. Because I know for us, we on a normal trip would never eat that much food. We never would. So we're literally rolling out of Disney World at the end of our trip, and we feel sick.
Yeah, because I think the couple
not
of
leaving
times,
any on the table.
I think the couple of times we have gotten the dining plans, we're like on the last day trying to get all of our snacks because we had like 12 left over.
The next thing is the advanced dining reservations. You can.
Some restaurants you absolutely have to get an ADR, or an advanced dining reservation. Or you will, unless you just get totally lucky, you will never get some of these restaurants. Breakfast at Topolino Terrace is very hard to get. I'm drawing a blank. That's the one that like it really sticks in my mind.
What Galaxy's
Um,
Edge, the bar.
Oh yeah, Oga's
Us
Cantina is
yeah,
kind of hard
that
to
one's
get
very hard to get.
unless you want to go like first thing in the morning. Sometimes
Mhm.
those are pretty easy. Um, I'm kind of wondering how this 1900 Park Fair is going to go since it's not open yet. It opens on April 10th.
Oh.
But
Oh, well.
but it's been closed for a while. And I'm sure people are going to be curious because it has a little bit of a retheme. Got new characters, a few new menu items, but yeah. Sometimes you can wing it and just say, "Hey, I'm hungry. I want to go sit down to eat. Let's go see what's open because we're in Magic Kingdom," and you can find something.
Yeah, and you can book these. I was just on the website. You can book them on the website, or you can book them in My Disney Experience.
Hmm.
Also, in My Disney Experience, you can see what is available, quick service wise, prices, mobile ordering, all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and they have really, really improved how
Mhm.
you see reservations and book reservations through the My Disney Experience app lately. It's it's phenomenal compared to what it used to be. But if there are certain restaurants that you want, you know you want to eat at, you got to book them in advance.
Yes. There's a lot of other stuff that we could go into for hours and hours on how to do dining reservations. We are not going to do that. But know that My Disney Experience, advanced dining reservations, those two go hand in hand. Oh, and did we ever actually say if you have a resort reservation, you can start your dining reservation 60 days out?
You did say that.
I did say that. Well, I said it again to emphasis. The next thing is dining at the resorts. A lot of people don't realize. I, a lot of people don't realize that you can go to the resorts even if you're not staying there. If I'm staying at the All-Star Resort and I want to eat lunch at the Wilderness Lodge, guess what? I'm going to the Wilderness Lodge to eat lunch or dinner
Hmm.
or see the Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, whatever. So understand that you can go to the resorts to dine. There's restaurants at sometimes multiple sit-down restaurants at every single resort, except for probably like All Stars and Pops and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But don't think that just because you're not staying there, you can't go there. Visit them, eat there. The next thing is bring your own food into the park. Like Tia said earlier, you can bring your own food into the park. There are some restrictions for what you can and cannot bring. Really, you can
Obviously,
bring anything in.
obviously you cannot bring alcohol.
Nope.
You can't bring in any glass containers, and you cannot bring in ice.
Yes, because they typically what is happening is people will dump the ice out, and it creates a safety hazard. So no ice, no alcohol, no glass. Those are pretty much the three restrictions.
Yeah, but
That's
you can
it.
bring in sandwiches,
Anything. You can bring
chips.
in a bucket of fried chicken as
I've
long
seen
as it's
people
sealed.
eating chicken,
Yeah,
Chick-fil-A.
yeah. Anything you want. If you don't want to pay the theme park prices, bring in your own. Completely allowed. And then we already went over that, so good to go. All right, the next thing, let's talk about how do you get your tickets? We're going to start with option number one. And this actually popped into my head when I was texting my cousin about what you can and can't do. First off,
If you are active military or a veteran, you can get discounted tickets. And here is that page. This is through Disney World. I think you can go to your actual military base and purchase them as well.
yes. Uh, Shades of Green is, I think you can buy them there as well at Shades of Green. It's the resort run by the Department of Defense. Go away. It's run by the Department of Defense and is basically between um, the Grand Floridian and Polynesian. It's back there when you're on the monorail. You can actually see the golf course back there. Uh, so I think you can go there and get tickets as well. But you can go if you have a military base near you, you're a veteran or an active duty. You can go to your local military base and you can also get tickets. And they are, it seems to be a substantial discount. These ones right here look like they're just a hard ticket price. Park hopper option, $409 for 6 days. That is a discount.
That's pretty good.
$369 for 4 days for a park hopper. I'm sorry, $399 for a park hopper. That's $100 a day for a park hopper. So if you are active military or a veteran, that is just fantastic. Get that. Take advantage of it.
Mm-hmm.
The next way is, Tia kind of hinted on this earlier, discount Disney gift cards. And this is more of a hack than it is a way to buy tickets. So
So you can purchase pretty much anything with a Disney gift card. That includes your resort room, Disney tickets, merch,
food.
all that stuff. So if you're purchasing that way, it's better if you can get your gift card at a discount. So then effectively anything you're buying with it was at a discount.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Disney math? Actual math?
Well, if you're getting a $100 gift card and you're paying $95 for it, you just save 5%. And if you take that $100 that you got for $95 and you buy a ticket with it, you got your ticket for 5% off right off the top.
So Target has their red card. Their discount is 5%, which is usually just a little bit more than Sam's or Costco. Those I think are somewhere around 3 or 4%.
Yeah, it's up to 3% for Sam's
Okay.
and Costco. Depending on the like, if you get a $500 gift card from Sam's, it's like 3%. If you get smaller gift cards, it's not quite 3%. So
Okay.
as the gift cards get smaller, so does the discount. So, but Target is 5% straight across the board.
Yeah, if you use your Target red card to purchase.
Yes.
Occasionally Target will run additional discounts, like an additional 15
We got 20
to 20%. Sometimes gift cards apply, sometimes they don't. And sometimes it's an actual hard in the mail gift card as opposed to an electronic gift card. That was back in December?
No, that was back in
No,
November because
November?
we used
Oh,
them
that's
to buy
right,
our
'cause we
annual passes.
Yeah, so last year there was a 20% discount. I don't think every red card member got one.
No, I think Casey said she never got it.
We just got lucky. So we got 20% off, and the hard, snail mail gift cards were applicable. So we purchased a whole bunch of gift cards to, in turn, renew our annual passes with.
Yeah, so
which saved us
20%.
20%, which was a lot.
Yeah. Now understand that on the website, if you're going to say book your room or get your tickets with your Disney gift card, I think a Disney gift card now can only have what, $1,000? I think it went up.
I think it's $1,000.
I think it's $1,000 on it. So what you can do is you can move all of DisneyGiftCard.com, move all of these multiple gift cards if you get multiple onto the one, so you don't have as many. But still on the website, you can only enter one gift card. So you have to call.
Which is fine if you're getting like a ticket and room package where you can pay in installments.
Yes.
But if you're renewing your annual pass and you are out of state and you have to pay it in one lump sum,
or buying tickets and not a room or whatever, you've got to pay. Like tickets are always up front. There's no payment on those.
Yeah.
So, but you have to call because you can only enter one in on the website. So just be aware of that. The next thing is, the next discount method is tickets at work. A lot of people, such as Tia, where she works, they offer tickets at work for discounts on many things, not just Disney, not just that. But
yeah, there's a lot of stuff on there. You can get Disney tickets. And here, I just did a couple of comparisons. It's not a huge savings. So on the left is the tickets at work, and on the right is from the Disney website. So I just did the same dates for the same type of ticket, and tickets at work was a $31.65 savings over the Disney website.
And then we have, and these are for specific dates. Now here's a little bit later of a date. So this is in April.
Yeah, and this was from right now. Disney's running a special, and they have a 4-day park magic ticket. So I just did the same thing because just Tickets at Work has the same deal, and it was only $17.19 savings. But still, that's a Disney cup of coffee.
It is. It is. Why is this not stopping? Oh, it's because the pictures. There we go. So Tickets to Work, if you have that option. Now understand that if you go to Sam's or Costco, they also use the Tickets at Work portal to give you the discounts through their stores. So it's going to be the exact same pricing.
Yeah, Tickets at Work, as you can see, the subtotal is usually a pretty significant discount, but once you add in the taxes and fees, the taxes and fees are more than from the Disney website. So
Yeah.
kind of eats up your savings on the taxes and fees.
Yeah, but it's still a little bit of a discount depending
Yeah.
on which one you get. So this one was 30, almost 32, and this one, because of the sale that's going on right now, it was only 18. So
Yeah.
what did I have here? Other cheaper options. Okay, so Tickets at Work. If you have it, take advantage of it. Okay. Other cheaper ways to get, or other ways to get cheaper Disney tickets. One, get multi-day park hoppers. I think just on the normal, not when
Yeah.
they're running discounts like they're doing now. They got 4 and 3-day like discount
It's kind of
deals.
like buying in bulk.
It is. So
The more
one
you
day,
buy, the cheaper they are.
I think the 1-day, 2-day, and 3-day, it's just that's the price of the ticket. Whatever the 1-day is, that's what it is for 3 days. Once you hit 4 days, that's when the ticket price goes down. So then you get 5 days and 6 days, and then it continues to go down from there. So understand that. And they'd actually, the deal that they're running now actually has 3-day tickets and 4-day, and the 3 days are from $89. So it's actually really good. I looked at the comparison and it was pretty good. The next day is, or this, we were actually talking about this. Occasionally they'll run like larger discounts. The discount that we looked at here is the 3-day and the 4-day. They're running from January all the way to September. So look for that. Now decide whether you want to get park hoppers or not. Because if you don't need park hoppers, you don't need park hoppers, especially now, because it's just, I don't feel like the park hoppers are necessarily worth it at this point because the parks are so busy. If you're a person that goes all the time and you like to eat here and you like to go here and you're going to ride that, then ride that, sure. But if this is the first time you've been to Disney in 20 years, it may behoove you not to spend the extra however much it is to do that. Real quickly, where there we go. Where not to buy tickets. I don't know why that's scrolling, but whatever. Where not to buy tickets. Whenever you go to some of these places and there's kiosks that say, hey, get discount tickets here. Do not go to those places. Because chances are 99% of the time it's a timeshare spiel. So one, you'll have to go for a timeshare spiel, which eats up half of your vacation. Two, it may or may not be legit. The other thing is don't buy like those. They're like online resellers of tickets. It's a crapshoot whether those are legit or not. You may get a ticket, you may get one in the mail, but it may not have a ticket on it. Plus, Disney's real picky about transferring tickets. On the back, it says these are non-transferable. So it's yours, it's yours. So those are two places I would steer clear of. Next, when to visit Disney World. Tia, when do we visit Disney World?
All the time.
I believe Casey or Richard mentioned every third Thursday of the month or something like that.
So if you have very flexible dates and you can just go on your vacation whenever, you can plan it for whenever, do some research. And I think there are some peak times and weekends that you should probably avoid. There are in the spring a lot of cheerleading and dance events.
And Run Disney.
and Run Disney. So I would definitely check the Run Disney website if you're not familiar with when the Run Disney weekends are. Also check the ESPN website. There's actually a list of all of the cheerleading competitions and dance competitions. I would avoid those if you can. Because there's a lot of teenagers there.
So this, okay, so what we're looking at here on the ESPN site, this is actually, what is this right here? Is this actually telling us what the events are and when?
Yeah. So like you've got these world cheerleading worlds, dance worlds.
So
April.
So that looks like
Don't
the best
go in
one.
April.
So April, not to mention April is also when spring break hits.
Also that.
So look at this.
And
This is
into
all
May,
April.
more dance things.
Golly.
Yeah. And apparently the Department of Defense has an event.
Huh, look at that. All right.
In June.
So I'll put all these links in the show notes so you can see them all.
Yeah.
The next thing.
Oh, how long is your trip? Huh? I don't know what you mean by that.
Well, if you're going to stay, okay, for example, if you are looking at staying at the Contemporary if you're looking at going on a Disney vacation for 7 days, and you have a budget of this, and you go to the Contemporary, guess what? You're probably only going to get like 2 days. But if you go to Pop Century or All Star, you're going to get you 7 days. So it all depends on where you're staying, how long your trip is. Take all that into consideration. We're talking about saving money.
Okay.
And fitting it into your budget. When to go to the parks.
He lost me on that one.
Are there better times of the year to visit specific parks? Okay. We're going to throw this one in here too. When to visit Disney. Check your park hours, because this kind of fits into the when to visit the parks. Well, we found that when there is a party going on, like at night, usually the park is a lot less busy.
A Christmas party, and after hours event,
which there's a lot of lately. So check those days, because they typically close the park a lot earlier, like 6 o'clock. That usually the people that have bought day tickets, they're not going to spend their day in the park when they're only getting, this many hours, and they're leaving at 6 o'clock. They're going to spend their day in at Epcot, where they can leave at 9 or 11. So chances are that day, at least in our experience, that day is going to be super light. So I know Megan has done this. I've done this. Tia's done this, where you go in and you've ridden everything by like 12 o'clock, if that's your jam. And then the rest of the day is just kind of walking around and just looking at stuff and not worrying about, where you need to be or what ride you're going to get on. So check the park hours, check for events that are happening after hours. That might give you a better day in the park too. Or it just might give you a shorter day if you just don't want to be in there for a short day. All right, we're going to move on to, real quickly, Memory Maker. What is it? This is something that stop that. You're making me nervous. It's like when I pick my fingernail. Okay, every time we go on a trip, I like to have the PHOTOPASS. So Memory Maker is, I have it over here actually. Memory Maker is, two things are included in this. The PHOTOPASS photographers, which are the guys in green that have the cameras everywhere. I would recommend getting them to take your pictures. Even if you don't use their service, they will take your phone and they will take the picture for you. Just have it ready to go. But if you pay for the Memory Maker, which includes PHOTOPASS and ride photos, all the ride photos, you don't have to pay extra for that. The cost for this is, if you buy it in advance of your vacation, it's $185. If you buy it during or after your vacation, it is $210. And if you buy just 1 day at a time, it's $75 per day. So they added that option recently. How do you use it? Well, you have it loaded into your account. You got your MAGICBAND or your ticket, or there's a little QR code on your phone, and you just go up to the guy when he snaps your shot. He says, okay, let me scan your MAGICBAND, and then look at this. It automatically gets loaded into your account. Here they are. So these are the pictures that they took. They include magic shots. See a little Scuzzy the Bee over here. And so all of that's included. What's his name? Spike?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. If you're getting your ride photos, typically what it's going to do is you have two options usually. Like on Expedition Everest, when you get off the ride, you'll see your ride photo and you can hit your MAGICBAND and make sure that it's linked to your account. But it will also just kind of attach to your account because it sees your MAGICBAND on the ride. So you shouldn't need to worry about too much there. But I personally think if you got your family with you, do that. You can access all your photos. It's a little bit of an upcharge. You don't need it for each person. One person per account. That's it. And then anybody linked to your account for your vacation also has access to those photos. All right, real quickly, we're going to say souvenirs. Save money on Disney souvenirs, shirts, merchandise, shopping. You can either buy it before you go.
You can.
A lot of times people like to have their matching shirts and they, Etsy, you can make them yourself, whatever. A lot of times you'll have little kids and go to Target, pay a little bit less for them at Target. And when you get down there, say, hey, look what we got for you. And they're not going to know the difference. It's cheaper that way. I see parents do that all the time. This place we visit all the time, the Disney Character Warehouse. This is basically Disney's clearance store. There's 3 of them. 2 of them are in Orlando. One is in Vineland, which is Vineland, the premium outlets, which is right near Disney Springs. And then the other one is near Universal at the premium outlets on iDrive. There is also the option of shopping in the parks. Use your Disney gift card discounts. Disney Springs is your mecca. It's basically Disney's mall that's on Disney property. And then there's always the free souvenirs. I got a whole pile of free souvenirs down here. You got buttons. I'm celebrating. We did the Christmas tree trail. We did a scavenger hunt over at the Wilderness Lodge. I talked about this in our last live stream. I got to get my gift cards for the festivals because they're just fun. And there's always the park maps. Get the park maps. I mean, park maps. You get your little festival passports. And of course, there's the Disney tickets. This is from our honeymoon. And then you got just all the different Disney tickets. Okay, so if you want these, a lot of people don't get these because everything's on your MAGICBAND or it's on your phone, and they don't just send them to you anymore. But if you want to get a hard ticket just as a souvenir, if you're at a resort or even if you're not, just go up there and say, I would like to get a hard ticket for my account. And they will give each person in your party, after they scan your band, they will give you a hard ticket. And you can keep that as a souvenir. Because a lot of times there's a collection of them, like this one right here. There's a collection of this style. So a lot of people like to get them all. There's these. This was a collection for the 50th. People like to collect them all. So just throwing that out there. Okay, Disney resorts. Where are we at? Oh, close that. All right. Are you allowed to go to the Disney resorts?
Yes.
All right. What do we got? We got 6 value resorts. 5 moderate resorts, 8 deluxe resorts, 10 deluxe villas. I don't really know the difference there. And then there's a whole bunch of third-party resorts like the Swan and Dolphin and the whatnot. But how do you save money staying at all of these resorts? Well, Tia likes to use these guys, these third-party DVC rental sites. Even if you're not a DVC member, you can go into these third-party sites and you can rent someone else's vacation.
You can.
Let's talk about that real quick.
So you just go visit the website, and you can either purchase a confirmed reservation, which is what it is. It's where it is, and it's for the date that it is, and you cannot change it. It's confirmed, and that's what it is. Or you can rent points if you know I want to go in June, and I want to go June 4th through 7th. Then you go see what's available.
And they're
You go rent
usually
points.
cheaper.
Mhm.
So cheaper than what you would pay if you were a DVC member. So you can also break up your reservation. Tia's done this many times where we'll go and we're staying for 5 nights. But then you go in and you say, but I put 2 here and 3 days here, or 2 nights here and 3 nights here. All of a sudden it's cheaper.
Well, that's usually because we're staying in multiple resorts.
I thought you did that like at All Star. We tried to do like a 5-night one time, and it wouldn't give it to you or it was more expensive. But when you split it up, then it was cheaper.
Well, not necessarily cheaper, but sometimes you can get like 2 nights and 3 nights because for some reason 5 nights all at once isn't available.
Yeah.
But 2 is and 3 is.
Well, there we go. If you're staying at any of the third-party sites that are, any of these guys right here, be aware that there might be additional fees. Usually, whenever Tia's looking up all of these resorts, and then she hands the paper over to me, and I call on the phone every single one of the resorts, and I say, "Do you have a parking fee or do you have a resort fee?" And a lot of times, it's a lot, especially like the Disney resorts that are over at Disney Springs that are the third-party resorts.
Yeah. Well, if it's a Disney resort, the answer is no.
No.
There's no resort fee. There's no parking fee.
Yeah, if it's owned and run by
If it's a
them.
hotel or resort that's on Disney property that's not owned by
Yes.
Disney, chances are the answer is yes. They will have a parking fee and they will also have a resort fee.
Yes. Real quickly, somebody asked us to talk about this. Disney Vacation Club. I don't know what I got down here about it, but okay. So what is the DVC?
Disney Vacation Club.
It's basically Disney's version of a timeshare. So if you're into that sort of thing and you like Disney, which I think it actually works you can transfer the points to other places too. I don't know all the details. I'm not going to get into that, but there is that option. Or if you want to save a little bit of money, do what we talked about earlier and don't buy into DVC and just use the DVC services for a lot cheaper without obligation. That's all I have to say about that. So we're going to move on to some other activities. Actually, Nunley, I think, said, hey, talk about other activities. We're going to talk about some other activities. And then we'll get into the children's stuff. Okay, so other activities outside of the parks. There's so much stuff that you can do. Some of it ends up in the parks, but you don't have to get a ticket to the park, such as behind-the-scenes tours. Sometimes you have to be in the park, depending on the one that you get.
Yeah, make sure you read because most of them you have to have a ticket to the park.
But some of them you don't. That's why I'm saying that. Some of them you don't have to have a ticket to. There's miniature golf all over Disney World. The water parks are a park, but you don't have to go to the theme parks or have a theme park ticket. Then there's horseback riding, there's carriage rides. There's basically, if you can think of it, that probably is something that you can do. There's scavenger hunts. There's like soccer golf or something like this. The weirdest things. Anything you can think of, chances are it's on that Disney website. So, what?
What is soccer golf?
You basically go around. It's like being on a golf. It's kind of like frisbee golf, but it's soccer golf. No, it really is. But I remember whenever they said it's returned, and I'm like, what the heck is soccer golf? I had to look it up.
Anyway,
so there's tons of other activities you can do. Now let's get into traveling with children. Susie, here you go. Traveling with the childrens.
Oof.
Oh, there's so many different things you need to make sure that you know.
Now we don't have any of these, so we had to look a lot of this up. Obviously, there are height requirements for a lot of the Disney rides. Well, actually, not even a lot. But if you go to this link, it lists out all of the rides and if there is a height requirement or if there's not. Like you can just go on the Jungle Cruise, and if you have a little baby, you can just hold your baby. It's fine.
Astro Orbiter roller coaster. Well, not a roller. It's a ride, but there's no height restriction on that. The Barnstormer, you must be 35 inches. I bet over at Animal Kingdom. Oh, where's it at? It's the little play area where it actually says you have to be under a certain height or certain age to get on it. It might not be on here. But then we've got this one right here was the one that we really needed to talk about. This is the
Rider switch. Yeah, so if you have small children that cannot ride all of these rides, they're not tall enough, or if they are tall enough and they just don't want to, but you have people in your party and you have to like switch out kids or switch out adults to watch the kids, you can do what is called rider switch. And you have to check in with a cast member and see, well, make sure it's offered at the attraction you're trying to ride.
And on this link right here, there is a list of attractions that offer rider switch right at the bottom here.
And then at least one person of your party is not riding, blah blah blah. You have to stand in the line basically. And then you ride, and then the other person in your party will come back and then kind of switch the kid and take over. But they don't have to stand in the line again. So.
Yeah, they sit at the entrance or the exit or whatever. So, but all the instructions are on here. I will put this link in the show notes when this stream is over so you can see all of this. And again, you can see all of the rides that offer the rider switch on this link.
What was that?
Where? Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah. Please note, all rider swap participants are required to be in a virtual queue boarding group. So yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy and Tron are, I think, the only two on property that do the virtual queue. So you have to make sure that everybody in your party, like me, Tia, her mom and dad, if they wanted to rider switch, it can't just be me and Tia who gets into the boarding group. We have to get all four so that we're all allowed to get on. So hopefully that makes sense. I mean, I thought that was pretty clear. Like I said, I'm going to put the links up here so you can see it, so you can kind of read through it at your leisure. Next, we're going to go to Stroller Rental. Talk about that.
Yeah, so if you have a child small enough and they still need a stroller, you can bring your own stroller in, or you can rent a stroller from Disney. If you want to rent one, here's the information. It's on the Disney website. It is $15 daily.
Oh, that's not bad.
That's actually not. Or length of stay, $13 for a multi-day. And you have to do a $100 deposit. They also have the double strollers available. But if you don't want to rent, if you're driving down and you're able to bring your own stroller, there's also a link right there.
Oh, down here.
I think.
No, that's baby care centers.
Okay, never mind. I just copied and pasted.
Okay.
Sorry. So strollers larger than 31 inches by 52 are not permitted, and stroller wagons are also not permitted.
I just see them all the time.
I see them all the time unless I don't really know what a stroller wagon is. I see some very large strollers.
Yeah, and they look like wagons, but people are pushing them versus pulling them.
So I don't know.
Essentially, you're not allowed to pull the stroller behind you, But these people, there's a handle on it, and I think that's how they get around it, is they're
I don't
pushing
know,
it,
but
and
it's
it's
like
the
the
same
same
size.
size.
Yeah.
Anyway, I personally wouldn't go with something that was larger than what is stated here, just in case, because if security says no, you cannot go in with this, then you are not going in with it.
And you take it back out to your car, and you don't get those kids in.
And remember, strollers are not allowed on escalators. And when you are riding the Disney transportation, buses and the trams, you have to take everything out and fold that stroller up before they'll let you get on.
Yeah.
I think you can just push them onto the ferry boat,
Yes.
the monorails,
Yes.
the Skyliner. Is that it?
I think so.
Yeah, you can just push them on.
And then lastly here, we've got the baby care centers.
Yeah, so if you have a very little one and you need a baby care center to feed or nurse,
Change,
just get a
calm
quiet
them
place,
down.
for them and for you. There is one baby care center per park.
Aren't they usually where the first aid stations are?
I think so, yeah. Changing rooms are in there, restrooms, and if they do have stuff available for purchase, if you've forgotten like formula or diapers, things like that, over the counter medication, they have that kind of stuff available too.
And at this link here, they have where each one is located. So like Magic Kingdom, it tells you it is basically it's right here behind the Crystal Palace. Like that's where the Winnie the Pooh buffet restaurant is. It's right next to that. So I will put this link in the show notes when we are done. Let's see here. Casey wanted me to talk about flying versus driving, the pros and the cons. Well, we don't typically fly. We don't really need to fly. It takes us on a slow day. It's going to take us 10 hours to drive down there, but usually
that's real slow.
That's really slow. But it has taken us that long because we had issues one day. But most of the times it takes us like 9 hours, 8.5 to 9 hours to drive down there.
If this one will sleep and leave me alone.
Anyway, anyway. So, but okay, see, I have my feelings about flying. I'm like, you can get up, go to the airport early, spend all this time driving to the airport, going through bag check, doing all this stuff. You know what? I could drive down there in the same amount of time. Plus, when you get there, you have to wait. You have to wait for your bus pickup or your ride share, your whatever, to take you down there. That's more money when we can pay $50 in gas there and back. And we're not out a flight or a flight ticket, or we're not out a bus ticket, and we're not out all that stuff. So,
I mean, I guess it really just depends on your preference. We are close enough where we can drive. Obviously, if you're coming from across the country, yeah, you can still drive. It's just going to add a little time onto a little few extra days potentially onto your trip. But we have, we do have friends that that live here and they prefer flying. So I think it just depends on your preference.
Nunley says team flying over here.
There you go.
Susie says flying is faster.
There you go.
mean, it is. It only takes you like an hour and a half or 2 hours to get there. It's all the before and the after stuff, plus the prep to get to there and the prep to get back and all of that. And all the trouble that Nunley seems to keep having when she flies. And I'm like, you know what? Get me up at 3 a.m, get me down there by 11 in the afternoon or whatever, and I'm good to go. And I don't have to worry about the airport because it's not the flying I don't like, it's the airport. So, yeah. I had trouble once.
And to Brandon, that means you have trouble every time. I don't know how you don't understand that.
We prefer to fly, to drive. They prefer to fly, and that's fine. Some people like Nunley, she can navigate the airports like we navigate Disney. We could tell you where everything is. We could tell you everything about it. We could tell you when, where, how, who, what, when, where, why. She could do the same thing with an airport. I walk into an airport and all of a sudden I'm like, and I literally back out slowly, make sure the sliding doors go, whoosh, and I walk out, whoosh, and then I turn around and I run. So, but
Anyway.
that's just us. Jill has some stories though. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I know
Oh,
Jill
yeah.
has some stories. Okay, so now we're on to our, no, we're not on to flying. What did I clicked on the wrong thing. There we go. Final thoughts here. 1, understand this.
Oh, you cannot do everything. Yeah, chances are you will not be able to do everything. There's probably going to be a ride that you just don't have time for, or a snack that you went to the counter and it was closed already and you didn't realize they closed early. So just
Not to mention there's so much to do at Disney World
there is.
that you're never, even if you spent the entire trip in one park, you're never going to be able to do everything in that one park. Spread it out. Decide on what your must-dos are. Get those things at the top of your list. Make sure you hit all of those, and then everything else is, just fun extras that if you don't see them, put them on your list for next time, but you're not like, oh, my vacation was ruined because I didn't get to do this. But just have your must-dos up there, and 1, don't count on virtual queues to be on your must-do list because it might not happen.
Correct.
But anything that's not on that list, there's a chance you're not going to have any problems doing it.
Mhm.
Seeing a fireworks show, seeing a Phantasmic, getting on a ride that might have a long queue line, but you can still get on that ride. Just have that at the top of your must-do list. Make your must-do list. That is my advice. Must-do list. And at Disney World now, you've got to do this. Unless you're like us, where we've been so many times, you got to plan in advance, whether it's just your must-do list or your I had a brain fart there.
Your
Dining reservations. That's where I was going with
If
that.
you have small children, use the Disney website, do your research. If you have disabilities or people in your party have disabilities, whether it's visual or physical, whatever, hearing impaired, whatever, there's information on the website to help you plan.
And before Matthew gets on me about the spelling there,
Please.
fix that before he gets on and says something. So yeah.
So my main thing would be do your research.
That is number 1. Do your research.
Mhm.
Yep. All right. That is our entire list. Again, that was a broad overview of things that you need to keep in mind when you go. So does anybody have any questions, comments, concerns, whole different string of thought? If not, let's see, next weekend is Easter, right?
Oh yeah, it is.
So we probably are not going to do a live stream next week.
Nope.
But we plan on being back for the following week. Don't know what we're talking about yet, but it might have to do with dining at maybe Disney Springs, which was going to be this week, but is not now because I wasn't prepared. So yeah, 5 o'clock every Sunday, except for maybe next week. And we'll be talking about whatever comes to mind.
Or if you have a suggestion, let us know.
Oh yeah, always send us suggestions for what you would like to see on a live stream or a video or whatever. Also, a lot of the stuff we talked about today, there is a video on our page just go search for it. I'll try to make that a little bit more organized, but go to our YouTube page, go to our Facebook page, go to our Instagram page, and subscribe, like, do all the things you do on the individual social medias so that you can get a hold of whatever we're doing. But I guess
Until next time, remember.
No cakes.